Forecast with SunshineMonieEl. It's been a while. I took a little breaky break because I had to focus on me, and I love it here. But excuse me, happy new moon, y'all. Happy total solar eclipse. The solar eclipse was affected by the northern hemisphere. We didn't really get to see it too much. It's more so like over there in like Europe-ish area. But it's cool because we felt it. I hope you guys felt it. So today's planetary forecast, we're gonna start today because today's a new moon, so it's a new cycle. You know, new moon, new me, who this. And we're also going to talk about the full moon, which we usually don't do. Sometimes we'll just skip right over the full moon and go straight to the next new moon energy, new moon to new moon, and just talk about the full lunar cycle. But because the next full moon will be a lunar eclipse, I want to talk about the full moon as well. So this might be a two-parter. I don't know. We'll see how long I start jibbering, but I'm gonna try to make this short and sweet for all of my elements. You know what I mean? Because I got work in the morning. I'll be trying to be asleep by like 12 o'clock. If I go to bed by like midnight, 12:30, maybe even 1 a.m., I'm definitely getting up on time and I have energy. So that's the goal. So we'll see. You know, we might have to do this a two-parter. We'll see how it flows. We'll see how it goes. So let's start today. We started at the time of the total solar eclipse, and that was the maximum was at 1:46 p.m. And an eclipse is really when it's like a new moon energy, but this is when the moon is between the earth and the sun. So the moon's shadow goes over the earth's surface. All right, so that gives us like that new moon energy. In addition to us having this new moon energy, which is about like renewal energy of the celestial womb as a collective, all that fun stuff. That gives us our renewal. Like you think about like a woman's menstrual cycle, her her physical womb is like a personification, if you will, of the celestial womb. You have this period of time where the you're in wanting and your lining is coming out, and then you're fresh, and it's like, oh, and that's the new moon, and then you go back and waxing, and you're building up all the things in the uterus again, and building up all of it. I'm trying to say like five different words at one time. The vitamins, the minerals, the tissue, and everything like that for new life to push out another, whatever. So the moon will be on the same type time. So we are in a new cycle, y'all. In addition to us being in this new moon energy, I guess I'll start off with my fire signs because, hi, Brandon. I guess I'll start off with my fire signs because we are having a fire. We did have a fire solar eclipse, and it was in Leo in the 10th house of success. So being in that Leo energy does bring you to your sense of success and achievements. And Leo energy is all about like tapping into your inner child, your inner creative energy. We get into like your external self, exerting yourself, allowing yourself to be on stage because Leo is a thespian type energy with the dramatics and stuff like that. It's about taking action. Fire is all about taking action. Fire is all about being in movement, you pulling the wands cards for yourself, etc., etc. So we kind of had like a parade happening in the Leo energy in the 10th house. So by you guys tapping, and everybody has Leo energy inside of them. Whether you have celestial placements in Leo, it may not be your major placements. It might be the zodiac might be an aspect to some of your major planets. The stars are definitely going. The stars in Leo, especially Regulus, will have a sense of aspect to your natal or progressive planets. You also have your asteroids that kind of get more into detail about your electromagnetic energy that can also be in Leo or have aspects to Leo zodiac or Leo constellation. In addition to that, if you get into the tree of life, or even into the netters, everybody has Tippereth. Tippereth is the sacred heart. This is the heart that's on fire. That is your Leo energy. So that's that for you. Leo also rules the external side of the third eye. So it's how you're like experiencing, how you're putting yourself out there, what you shed light on, what you're giving your attention to in that space, right? So, in addition to us having that moon, our celestial womb, in Leo energy, the sun is also there. So we have, whenever we experience a new moon, for my newbies out there, my new astrologers, astronomers, whenever we have a new moon energy, the sun and moon are always in the same zodiac. When we have a full moon, it's because the sun is in one zodiac and the moon is in opposite. All right. So the sun and moon are both there. The sun deals with our experiences, our appearance, how we put ourselves out there, our masculine energy, which really just means our outer self. How, the outer self that we feel like we're supposed to be showing, while the moon is showing our inner self. So our third eye is definitely in Leo energy. Jupiter is also in Leo energy. Jupiter deals with our sacral chakra. This is where we feel joy, where we feel pleasure. Where we get our humanitarian and our philosophy pursuits. Now, when you get into the Kabbalah or Netters, Jupiter rules over your second Sephira or your second sphere, which is Chokmah. This is Tahuti. This is wisdom. Okay? And so it also rules over your chesed if you get into like traditional astrology over modern. Otherwise, that's ruled by Neptune. But that's a sidebar conversation. Don't get too deep into that with me. But y'all can always take my astrology class if y'all want to get deep into it with me. But Jupiter rules over the sacral chakra. So in addition to us having our third eye here, we also have our sacral chakra here, where we feel our joy, our expansion, our abundance, our philosophy, our humanitarian pursuits, pleasure seeking. Once again, we get into our reproductive system. So not only do we have the celestial womb here, where we hold the thing that we want to give birth to, but we also have the whole process, mechanisms, machinery that does the process of making the things, okay? And then we have Mercury. We have the throat chakra ruler here too. So we got the third eye, the sacral, and the throat chakra happening in Leo energy. And that's going towards the 10th house. 10th house is the house of success and achievements, which we love it here. In opposition of what, like Mercury is Pluto. So we have a line from Mercury down to Pluto. So speaking things into existence, empowering revelations happening today. Pluto rules over the solar plexus chakra, which is, our courage, our ability to build and destroy in response to Aries, which is the gut that controls the mind. Scorpio responds with building and destroying to satisfy that fire in your gut. And so, yeah, we're creating transformations with our throat chakra. It makes sense, right? Like, duh. Right, duh. Today was the day to speak it into existence. So that people, places, things, situations, and ideas can be built and destroyed based upon what you want to give life to. But yeah, all that's happening in Leo energy. I want y'all to be confident and courageous. Go back to your inner child in regards to, what it is that you wanted to create. What did you want to manifest? How were you feeling? We can go back to our previous years of one. The last time we were in the year of one, it was 2017. So we can go back to that version of self. And then the time before that was 1999. Then the time before that was actually 1990. And so those are our different years of ones that you can go back to. And then you can go back further and further than that to get into, what you were feeling, where were you at? And that is getting in tune to your younger self, which is your Leo energy. What did you want to do? What did you want to be when you grow up? Like, what were your aspirations? What was your motivations? All that stuff. Now, we have somewhat of a fire triangle happening in the sky. We also, so over there in Aries, which deals with our cardinal fire energy, Aries is over there in the 6th house. So this creates a new beginning in our health, wellness, daily routine, our moral integral code, what we listen to, what we're speaking to, how we learn, and how we teach things, right? So Aries is like new beginnings on all those different things, your habits and your rituals, connections, how you're being of service, your mental capacity. And we have Saturn and Neptune over there in Aries. Now, I know that we are talking about zodiacs. We're not necessarily talking about the constellations. If we were to get into the constellations, we know that Saturn and Neptune are still in Pisces, and all the planets that I just named in Leo are actually still in Cancer. So, on the Vedic chart of things, this triangle would actually be in water. And the Vedic chart deals with our experiences, what's happening around us, while fire deals with action. So in the physical, what's happening around us, we're dealing with those emotions, intuition, spirituality, all those things, the cups. What's happening in our mindset is we're dealing with fire, action, and activity. You know, so Saturn is over there creating the challenges that bring us the discipline and order that's required for what it is that we desire to acquire, right? A lot of times Saturn can be very strong, and Saturn can put us in a space of interpreting our experiences as traumas, as abuse, and things like that. And, you know, a lot of people transmute that energy and say, okay, well, I have this kind of discipline, I have this kind of order, this is embedded in my root chakra, these are my understandings because these have been my challenges, you know, and those challenges restrict people from moving in certain ways. If you feel your experiences that you're rooted in, whether it be from your childhood, whatever it is that you're standing under, whether it be the government, the economic system, your job, your elders, your religion, or whatever, if it restricts you to the point where you're having a hard time activating the rest of your chakras, especially your sacral chakra, your pleasure seeking chakra, then you might want to go back and kind of like re-edit that joint. You know what I'm saying? But Saturn is here to help support us and give us strength. While Neptune deals with our dreams, our subconscious, anything that's hidden beneath the horizon. All right. And so, like I said, this is all going to the sixth house. So, if you could dream it, Saturn wants to build it. And it's going to apply to how you contribute to your routines, how you applicate it. So, I really would pay attention to like your imagination, like daydreaming. If you guys like just go into like a trance and start daydreaming things, like, all right, I really want to do XYZ, and your mind automatically starts flowing towards not necessarily what can go wrong, but some of y'all do have overactive root chakra. So let's talk about it. Your mind automatically goes to what could go wrong. And what could go wrong is Saturn coming into your imagination. That's Saturn and Neptune happening to you. And so they're like, these are all the different challenges you can experience. Now, those challenges are not there to stifle you, to make your solar plexus chakra of activity go underactive, or your sacral chakra, your pleasure seeking space to go underactive, is to empower you to say, okay, these are the challenges. So let me use my problem solving skills to see how I can go around these challenges, how I can solve them ahead of time. And so that's how you utilize that Saturn and Neptune. And the fact that it's in the sixth house lets you know that it'll be not necessarily slow and steady, but definitely allowing you to take bite-sized pieces. You don't have to just like eat the whole thing at one time. You could take it step by step on a daily basis, you know, working towards your goals on a daily basis. Hey Adonis, how you doing, love? Hey Aunt. And then on the other side of the fire, you have Sagittarius. We still have Lilith over there. We have Lilith there until September 14th, and that's a couple days after our next new moon. Um, Lilith will be Lilith being in Sagittarius right now is showing like energy. So Lilith deals with the things that we suppress in ourselves, that when we see other people like suppressing, like expressing it, we kind of get triggered, and it's like, oh, because I have taught myself to suppress these things about me, you should suppress those things about you. And if you're not, there's something wrong. And so it being in Sagittarius is like thank you. Yeah. It being in Sagittarius is it's about the sacral chakra. So when you see other people pleasing themselves and doing things that are pleasurable to themselves, or getting their wisdom their way, or being in their sacral chakra in any type of way, it's triggering for you, because you're like, well, I can't. I've taught myself not to please myself. I've taught myself not to listen to what I like and what makes me happy. So you shouldn't either. You should be sad and miserable and all the things. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's not really what we want to do. That's not really, your sadness does not automatically make sure that other people that are sad are happy. So if you think that you sacrificing your joy and your sacral chakra is somehow saving the world, I can promise you it's not. You said, I'm feeling excited, happy to be here. Likewise, I've been feeling really good today. Today was a good day. And that's happening in the second house. So that's happening in the space of business. Business, what we value, what we prioritize, our balance between what I have and how I feel. So that's happening there. And that brings me back to, I be listening to Reverend Ike, and he even said it one time. He was like, why do I have to be poor? Like, me being poor does not make someone over in a whole nother continent suddenly have money because I'm making the choice to make myself be poor. Like, why do I have to want that for myself? Like, that's not helping anybody around me. But if I make money, now I can pour into other people. Now I can show them different things by my embodiment, by my behaviors, by my mindset, by what I'm doing, how I'm doing it. And that's a whole lot more lucrative than me sitting over here making myself be poor to prove a point. And it's not really helping anything or anybody, not even me. And I was like, not that I ever thought that I had to suffer to make other people happy, but I do have a little bit of a martyrdom thing about me, but it's not because I want to suffer. Like. But yeah, like, you guys going without is not going to suddenly change the world. You know what I'm saying? So if there's things that, you really want for yourself, that you want to achieve, that you find the beauty, like, some of you guys really want to have certain kind of experiences, but I'll say maybe like the quote unquote conscious community duped you out of wanting those things because they taught you, oh, this is the matrix and this is this and that's that, and you just shouldn't want these things for yourself, and you shouldn't want to reach these certain accolades, and you shouldn't want to have these certain kind of experiences. And it's like, but you're suppressing yourself. If those are the kind of experiences that you want to have, if those are the different definitions of success, if that's what beauty is to you, why can't you be in your lane and have what you want to have? Like, does that suddenly, like, the world's going to turn regardless if you're allowing yourself to have what you want or what you desire or what makes you happy or not. So, I mean, who are you allowing to be the main character of your story? Is it you? You know? And people gotta have that question. That go back to Saturn and Aries. Like, where's your understanding? Some of you guys are standing under people, concepts, and things like that. And a lot of these people y'all be standing under, and y'all allowed to dupe y'all out of the reality that you desire. Now y'all realizing a lot of these people is under spiritual psychosis, and they not happy neither, because they over there suppressing themselves from what they want and what their true desires are and what they really want it out of life. They don't suppress themselves so much that they're like having out of body experiences. They're not fully there anymore, because it's like, what's the point? I'm not allowing myself to be in my space, and 20 times out of 10 they gonna end up having to come back here and try again because they didn't do nothing. They didn't do what they were supposed to do for themselves. They're not fulfilling their contracts. They just out here like playing a part. You know what I'm saying? And don't let that be you. Don't get so hype up in this in these what do you call it? I don't know. They just have like this facade of what spirituality is supposed to be like, what consciousness is supposed to be like, what being a leader or a healer is supposed to look like. And sometimes the healer has a job in retail, and they're really good at helping people that come into their store. so many different kind of people come into those stores. You know what I'm saying? People could be buying an outfit for a funeral they about to go to, or trying to get an outfit for the people that just passed, or trying to get something to wear to a wedding they don't really want to go to, or they do want to go to, but it's making them. It's like it's you could be a bartender. A healer sometimes is the bartender at the bar. You know what I'm saying? They got all the crystals on and the tattoos to protect them against all the spirits in the room, but they still are needed to be in that space because it'd be a lot of crazy, sad souls and open bodies and stuff in that space, and they need you there. Sometimes the healer is at a podium, doing motivational speaking. Sometimes the healer is in the classroom. Sometimes the healers are in the courtrooms, being the defenders or the prosecutors, or they work in the prisons and they just so happen to be the ones that the prisoners talk to and gravitate to, and they make sure that certain things happen or don't happen for them. Like, being a healer or conscious person does not constitute a y'all like removing yourselves from society. Yeah, you have to go inward and do the inner work and do all the things and stuff like that. However, we're still in the physical world. We're still in this reality. And what good is it to do all that work if you're not applicating it? If you're not putting yourself in places to really exercise it. Social media is easy. It's easy to come up here and talk to your fucking self for hours on hours and ignore people in the comments or decide to argue with them. You ain't gonna put them in the box to really chat with you anyway. Like, shit like that is easy. You really gotta go out there and sharpen your iron. Go out into the world. Being around people that think like you, that look like you, that wear crystals like you, and got the same hairstyle, and all of y'all hippies just sit in a circle together. Like, that's easy. Now, go do something out in the world. Go really exercise that. Go be the pinnacle. Go be the pillar. Go be that clear quartz, that selenite in the midst of the things. That's where you really get that exercise at. You feel me? Yeah. We all have our own solutions and resolutions to be of service. Exactly, we all do. And I think that when a lot of these people came on these ones and zeros and was communicating, they convinced a lot of people that they had to be homeless, they had to be poor, they had to be, you gotta be living outside with no shoes on. You gotta do everything by yourself. Meanwhile, nobody does anything all by themselves. We have always had this symbiotic relationship with nature within our body. Think about how your body operates. Your body is an ecosystem of organisms and bacteria and all these different things just coming and going, living and dying on and in you for you to have this physical experience. You know what I'm saying? And so it's just like keeping that in mind, like project that. We're not, you got to grow your own food, grow your own medicine, put it all together, homeschool your kids, be homeless, but have a home. Do away with your bloodline, but find out where your bloodline came from. Have money, but don't make money, because you can't be a part of the things. And then have 5 ebooks, know how to write the ebooks yourself and edit them and do all the marketing and do this and do that. Like, it's ridiculous. And that's why a lot of the people that was on these ones and zeros telling y'all that, you now see them going through spiritual psychosis. You now see certain deviants about them coming to light, because that's how they were coping with a lot of the things that they were doing. It's so many things, it's so many steps and so many things that are not just yours to hold. We need communities, and go be a part of a community that you want to be a part of. Not everybody want to kumbaya in the middle of the woods with 15 people living under one roof. That's not everybody's reality. That's not what everybody wants. That doesn't make you more or less spiritual, because that's not what you want. You know what I'm saying? That's not for everybody. Some people want to have lavish things and be that Lakshmi. You know what I'm saying? And nothing wrong with that. It's everything. It's just as much right with that. So I want y'all to stop suppressing your sacral chakra. Get to know, get back to yourself without all the influence of social media and spiritualists and conscious people and people living off grid and people exiting the matrix and these people telling you about nationality and all stuff. You wash that away and come back to you. Who are you? And that's what this eclipse and this fire energy really wants you to really wants to strip you back to is who are you? Where's your primordial energy at? Before all of this influence, before your parents influenced you to have a certain kind of mindset, to prioritize things a certain kind of way and behave a certain kind of way. Who were you? What did you want? How did you think you were going to go about getting those things? Where was your confidence in obtaining and maintaining those things? Like that's what this triangle and fire really wants for you. We actually have a kite in the sky, but I'll get into that later. Let me just stay focused with the things. So that is the triangle that we're dealing with here. All right, and when we move into the full moon, which will be the lunar eclipse, and that'll be partial. That actually won't be total, but it'll be fun still. Our fire triangle, we won't have a fire triangle anymore because yes, we will. Lilith will actually still be in Sagittarius. Lilith exits Sagittarius a little bit in, I said the 14th, so after the new moon. So we'll still have, placements in all our fires. We'll have, by the full moon, we'll have Jupiter over there in Leo zodiac. We'll have Lilith still in Sagittarius, and we'll have Saturn and Neptune. Now, at this point, the houses will change. So when how Jupiter was in the 10th house of success, now Jupiter will be in the 3rd house of community. So whatever we proclaim today, what our successful energy looks like, expect relationships, people, and communities and opportunities to come into your space to help cultivate what it is you said you wanted. And make sure you say it with your whole heart. This is what I want. This is what I desire. And, make sure it's what you really want and desire. Because, sometimes we we want 3, 4, 49 different things all at one time. And that comes a lot with trying to be present and also in preparation for whatever future we think is coming. A lot of us think, the future is doomsday and everybody's going to die. And so we have to be prepared and all those things. So it's I want to prepare for this doomsday, but I also want to be present and have a good time. And it's just well, which one is it? Is it going to be a future of abundance and expansion and joy that you're in the process of enjoying now? Or are you going to prepare for this doomsday, which will also currently put you in a doomsday? So the universe just wants you to be grounded in the choices that you make and what it is that you truly desire, y'all. And so, yeah, Jupiter's going to bring an expansion of opportunities and communication spaces. And then Lilith, of course, is still bringing you into that primordial energy. Lilith will start building and destroying. So once you start really all right, I'm about to engage in this Lilith on my 2nd house. 2nd house is what we prioritize, what we value, what we see beauty in. Then we'll watch the transformation start happening by the full moon with Lilith. Because it's just certain things y'all just not going to be able to deal with no more. Y'all not going to want to put up with. Y'all not going to be. And for some of you guys that are still trying to make up reasons to deal with and put up with it, I promise you, the energy that y'all keep trying to hold on to and cling to, it's going to put you in situations where you ain't going to have no choice but to let go. And if you let that other energy might just let you go. And it's going to be annoying because it's going to be dang, I've been wanted to walk away, but now you over there thinking you got the upper hand and you let me go and you fired me or you broke up with me, and all the while I've been wanting to be the fuck up out of here. And it's just so, I mean, sometimes I could get to our ego, Or sometimes it just be like, if you're comfortable enough with just shrugging stuff like that off, then you can do that too. Like, I wanted to leave anyway, let it go. But I know, this is a fire triangle we talk about. So sometimes it can be like, no, fuck that. I should have left. I should have left before I gave y'all that opportunity to think y'all finna push me out. Now that's the story y'all finna tell. And like I said, we still got Neptune over there, bringing like structure, structure and building and a sense of authority to, our spiritual selves, our sensitivity, our inspirations, what's inspiring us. Saturn is like whatever that you're standing under is also inspiring you. All right. So if you don't fully, like what you're standing under, you're probably not fully engaged or embracing what's truly inspiring you. It might be frightening you. You probably like overindulge in fear mongering all day, or doom and gloom, depression, all these different things. Saturn's like, new beginnings there. Now, by the time we get to the full moon, we done moved from the sixth house of focusing on our daily routine and stuff like that. We have moved on to the 11th house of friendships. So that's pretty cool. So, the fire triangle start to bring us relationships that we need based upon what we're speaking on in this space today on this wonderful Wednesday. And then by the time we get to the next new moon, which will be on September 10th, we'll have another kite in the sky. We'll also have it's a kite, but we also have like a pentagon. Is it called a pentagon, or what am I calling it? A pentagram. It is a pentagon. I know my shapes. I just don't know like when y'all start calling it pentagrams and shit. But we have a kite and we got a pentagon in the sky. And I'll get into the shapes later though. I ain't going. I want to stick to my elements right now so I can let y'all go. Let me go. But now we move with that Saturn and Neptune in the 10th house. Now we're going back into that space of success. So we move from the 6th house of daily routine here with Saturn and Neptune, and then we move over to friendships, and then we move into success. So once you have those connections, y'all should be aligned. Saturn and Neptune should be aligned amongst the people that you meet. Aquarius also rules over electronic communication too. So, you have the electronic communication, friendships, and all that stuff like that. All that stuff is happening. And so, you're imagining it, and you're grounding yourself in it. You're being inspired and having conversations, and we love it there. And just like with Lilith going from the 2nd house of business and what we value, what we prioritize, those facets of love, and then moving over to 8th house. Now it's building and destroying in response to that, and then going to the 7th house. Now we're sitting in our truth. Now we're in our interpersonal relationships. Now we're building bonds and contracts here. So with that Lilith energy, you being in your primordial space, that sounds like a job change. That sounds like a contract change. Whatever you was contracted with, you either going to destroy some contracts that especially if you have a contract that's in the way of you getting more contracts. But if you're still in the space of gathering contracts with other people, other entities, other businesses, that'll keep happening. And then by the end of it, now you're really sitting in the 7th house. You are in those interpersonal relationships. You are in those bonds. You are in that truth energy. You are in that, and that's cool. And with Leo energy, we got planets coming and going because there's a lot of personal planets. The closer planets, the faster planets happening in Leo. But we do know that Leo starts off in the 10th house with the Sun, Moon, Mercury, and Jupiter. So we start off in that success space. Then we move on into community happening there with Jupiter. And then we end off with the 2nd house. Jupiter is in like the 2nd house of business at that point, which is really fire. So y'all can expect by the new moon like really dope business opportunities. Speak them today. Go ahead and shake some hands come the full moon. By the next new moon, we in there like swimwear. I need y'all to be in y'all fires. I need y'all to be and this triangle really creating with that fire energy that will definitely suit you. But you have to be in your truth. Like you have to be in your spiritual truth. You have to be, willing to do things that's going to trigger other people, because once you start embodying your own Lilith, and Lilith being in Sagittarius, some of y'all need to move. Sagittarius is about expansion. Sagittarius is about getting out of, where you're at and going somewhere else. That's the traveler. So some of y'all need to move to get in tune with where y'all want to be and what y'all want to do in terms of that business, and that eighth house of transformations happening there could definitely push you out moving. Don't necessarily got to be across the oceans or across state lines. It could just be in just a new space, a new neighborhood, a new street, a new location. It's just like some type of move has to happen. And it also does not have to be a permanent move. It could just be like, I had to go over here for a few weeks. I had to meet these people. I had to go to this convention. I had to go do this networking over here. I had to take this trip. I had to go on this tour real quick. Like just like different things like that has to happen, for you guys to really build and destroy and then come into those bonds that you're looking for, which is really exciting. And I love this for my fire signs, and wherever fire is at in your chart, like this triangle is for you. Don't think that you're excluded from this triangle because that's not your sun sign. It doesn't have to be your sun sign. Your sun sign is just your experiences. It's not all of you. This could be, if you got a fire moon, this could be how you've been, feeling, internalizing things. Your intuition, emotions is your electromagnetic field, most definitely. It could be how you speaking things into existence, how you thinking. It could be how you, what you deserve and what you're designing in your space. It could be your motivation, your ambition. It's wherever fire is at in your chart. So for my fire babies, we are in the 33 master number. We are in teacher. Arnica, whatever, however way you pronounce it, is the herb of the season. You guys are going to focus on your Saturn. We're focusing on Saturn, which just so happens to be the Aries, so divine alignment. So you're focusing on the challenges and allowing those challenges to be your teacher so that you can have that master understanding, that 33. We have a 3 of cups here, so we got another 3 here. And we got the Empress card here, which is another 3. So heavy on the 3. Heavy on the understanding, the expression, the creation, the emotions, being in tune with self. Again, coming into those connections that we're supposed to be coming into. What parts of self to focus on? You're going to focus on your Mars and Pisces, your intuition, your sensitivities, and your inspiration, and how those inspirations motivate you. And you're going to bring them to your Malkuth, which is your earthly experience. This is what we not finna do. Some of you guys are not fully embracing that Lilith and Sagittarius and going after what it is that y'all want. Some of y'all are allowing that Saturn energy to really restrict y'all into not taking action and putting fear into yourselves about really embodying and embarking on the things that you truly want in your life. And while you're doing that, your solar plexus chakra is dissipating. You're just letting time flow by, all your ambition, motivation, that confidence and courageousness just flow on by, and you're looking at other people like live their lives, and that could trigger your Lilith because you suppressed yourself. So be mindful of that. And then for the extra message, we got achievement. I told y'all just gonna have to move. And we got a 2-9 up there, which is 11, which is mastery. So yeah, my fire babies, it's looking up. It's definitely looking up. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, over today we actually did have a kite, like I said, in opposition to our Mercury up here in the 10th house, telling us to speak into existence our success and what we want success to be for us with our confidence and courageousness. Pluto is in opposition in the 4th house, creating transformations in our comfort zones. That means that y'all gonna get pulled out of y'all comfort zones. And we know that Pluto is in Aquarius zodiac. I know it's still in Capricorn constellation, so it's over there creating transformations over there in our structure, while all these placements are still in Cancer, doing some internal things as far as the constellations go. But we're gonna talk about zodiacs right now. But yeah, some of them comfort zones, some of them comfort friendships, some of them comfort mindsets is gonna be, and because Pluto is dramatic, and Pluto will snatch you real quick, snatch the wig real quick, okay, snatch you bald. So, like I said, whatever it is that you want, make sure you speak it because you do not control the how, and Pluto like get back. Pluto like the fast button a little bit. Pluto like the easy button a little bit. Pluto been through so many hardships. You thinking about Oya energy. Then been through so many hardships that Pluto look at you and be like, we gonna make this real easy, real fast. But it's not real easy, real fast to you on a human level that's still trying to hold on to things that it's time to let go of. So weird shit happen like, bitch, you get fired, your car done broke down, yeah, your house done caught on fire. Like just like crazy stuff start happening, but it's like this is the quickest way to get you what you want. But you over here just going through it, looking great, looking like Franklin in the season finale of Snowfall. Like, you did get me what I want, but baby, you didn't have to do it that way. It was like, no, that's not what Pluto do. You said what you wanted, this is what you wanted, this is what you got. All right. On the other side of this kite that we have Uranus over here providing us with progressive pushes, another very aggressive planet who is being very aggressive over there in the Gemini energy, and it's also in the eighth house. Like, yeah, this is what you want. Transformations is coming. I'm about to push the shit out of you. I'm gonna push you into new opportunities. I'm gonna push you into your duality. Now it's time for you to show all the facets of self, and not just the one that you like or the one that you think everybody likes. And this one is da da da. No, I'm about to push you to really like get where you want to go, if this is truly what you want. And then we have on the other side of the game, we got Venus over there in Libra. Now that's the soft, like, woo woo woo. However, Libra don't play neither. Don't think Oba is a game. Oba got tricked a few times, but Oba is not a game, okay? Libra energy does have a dark side. Them scales can get real tips, real crazy, real quick. And that's also in the 12th house. So it's some things that you guys have been holding on into your heart that's not really your truths. You know what I'm saying? And the 12th house is like, it's time to create an ending to that. It's time to close up some of those things in your heart where the scales wasn't balanced, where you weren't in your truth, where things weren't fair or just. Some interpersonal relationships are going to come to an end too. And all this has to make room for Uranus and Gemini about to bring you a whole new community, and Pluto and Aquarius about to bring a whole new friendship and senses of society and things like that. So that's what's happening for you there. And since we here, that is also giving y'all the triangle for air, y'all. So that's how we're starting the triangle for air in this lunar eclipse as well. We got changes happening in our community and our connections. Some of these people gotta go away, y'all. Some of these people gotta get the fuck on. Y'all holding on to friendships, y'all holding on to romantic partnerships that's just not just. They're not cultivating you in what it is that you said you wanted. They're not supporting you in the direction you said you wanted to go into. They in the way. They holding you back. Then some of them not even holding you back. Some of them you're using to hold you back. You're saying, oh, because I have these connections and these people and these things going on, I can't do what I want. I can't do what I need. I can't do what I truly desire. And the universe like, oh, these things in the way? And they gonna snatch them shit. They're gonna put you in situations where you have no choice but to let the fuck go, because stop using these people, stop using these connections and these communities as a reason why you can't do what you said you wanted to do. You could do anything. Why are you letting, connections get in your way? Now, we're going to move on to the full moon. By the time we, get pushed up out of these communities and friendships and all that to make space for new ones, we still have Pluto over there in Aquarius, but now we move from the 12th house of ending, not 12th house of ending, excuse me. We move from the 4th house of nurturing in the comfort zones to now we're in the 9th house. Now we're starting to become wise, and we're starting to realize, oh, that's why those comfort zones had to go. That's why those comfort relationships and friendships had to end. Like that's why those things was happening. Oh, okay. I got the wisdom now. I got the philosophy now. I got that expansion now. I get it. I get it. Okay, cool. Pluto gonna give it to you. All right. Now Venus moves from the 12th house of closing things up in that heart chakra to now it's in the 5th house. Now you're being more creative. You're being more confident. You know, you'll feel yourself kind of having that open, that release, that relief in your heart. You know, those things that was binding you up that you couldn't let go of, those things that was unfair and unjust, even shit that you ain't let yourself mourn about, you know, a while ago. You'll start to find yourself in that 5th house energy of like allowing yourself to feel it. Allow yourself to, you know, not necessarily like feel it to sit in it, but like you're like flowing through it and it's okay. Like it's not a callous in your heart anymore. We more balanced than that now. And then Uranus was in the 8th house building and destroying for you guys in your community, but now it's in the 1st house. Now it's putting in your aura, okay, these are the communities, these are the opportunities, these are the facets and the duality I have. Who's gravitating to this? Who's gravitating to these progressive to this progressive energy that I have? What conversations are being opened up because of this? What kind of opportunities are being opened up because of this? You know, so that's pretty cool. So yeah, between now and the full moon, it's gonna be a little rocky, y'all. Y'all going the universe gonna be like, you trust me, and you're gonna put your hand out, and you're gonna get dragged through like jagged rocks and salt water to go on the wounds, and it's gonna take your clothes off, and you're gonna get butt ass naked, and then you're gonna go through the pits of hell and magma and fire and all that, and then you're gonna come out like a diamond. And they be like, see? And you be like, bro, that shit hurt. But dang, this is exactly what I said I wanted. Now the testimony is fire. You know what I'm saying? And the strength is there and the discipline is there and all those things are there. Um, and then by the time we get to the next new moon, we know we had Uranus starting off in the 8th house, providing transformations with our community. Now in the 1st house, in our force field, you know, gravitating to others, and then we move into the 12th house. So now we're bringing some endings to some things, being inspired, being tapping into our Akashic records with some things there by the time we get to the next new moon, which is cool because I'll be like preparing us for the harvest energy too. Because a new moon is a moon to close up a cycle, but it's also to open a cycle too. So that's cool. Venus over there in the 12th house starts off there closing some things in the heart chakra, and then moves over to the 5th house, opening us up to that inner child energy. And then by the time we get to the next new moon, Venus will be at a 29 degree. Venus will be at that 29 degree, which is like that snow in between the channels, and it'll still be in the 5th house though. We'll still be holding on. Got a little bit left to be in that inner child energy. So that's cool. Then we have, excuse me, Pluto in the 4th house, providing transformations to our comfort zones. And then Pluto moves over to that 9th house of wholeness and completion and things like that. Thank you for the heart. Hey, Divine. And then by the next new moon, Pluto will be over there in its home house. Ooh, dun, dun, dun. And Pluto will be over there in its home house, providing the building and destroying the transformations by September. So, you know, that next new moon can get real dramatic with the transformations, with the building and destroying. And I don't know why that feels so heavy. It does. Because Uranus is over there like, all right, close some shit up. And Pluto like, yeah, close that shit up. And making it like real big and dramatic and revelations happening there. You already know how that goes. And just to remind you that this triangle air is about thought, is about intellect, it's about connections. We connect with the air, right? With our breaths. So Libra deals with those interpersonal relationships, those business pursuits, you know, whether it be like So it's connections in realms of love, but also in realms of business. What we prioritize, what makes us feel good. Gemini is about community. It's about siblings, aunts, uncles, people we grew up with, people in our neighborhood, like the Tri-City area. People that you grow up with in the education like center, like some of you guys, are adults and been around the same people since first grade or middle school, whatever. That's all Gemini. And then Aquarius is bigger. Aquarius is like, it's very big, not big, and then big again, because it deals with friendships, but it also deals with electronic communication, those type of connections. And then it also deals with society as a whole and finding your place in society, which is really, really big and vast, because we're talking about like billions of people at this point. And it's like, damn, how do I really fit billions of people into like, my vortex? Like the concept of considering billions of people into my vortex sounds really wild. And it's probably more people than that. We just, we don't count everybody. We don't have the capacity to count everybody. But those are the facets. And while air is about connections and information and intellect, air can also be about grudges. So you want to be careful with that. So here's my reading for my air babies with everything going on. Oh, you guys want to focus on your Pluto and Aquarius. And then I also had, I always get the nodes mixed up. South node. So the South node, is in Leo. So South Node is actually in opposition to Pluto right now. So that Pluto South Node connection, that's what y'all want to work on. Y'all comfort zones, transformations to the comfort zones, y'all. And this is Palo Santo is the herb 5-5. 5 is that number of like being adventurous in the numerology realm. That's adventurous and curiosities. 5 deals with that Leo energy we talked about. And then 5 also gives that like that Gemini vibe in numerology. Now, when we get into the Kabbalah, the Sephiros, 5 deals with Harold Kahudi, or even Jabora, which is the celestial enforcer. This is where we enforce your internal law here. All right. 5 in supreme mathematics is power, right? So we're being masters in our power. Guardianship is the key word. Guardian is key word. So we connecting to a higher power when we're like dealing with that opposition of Pluto, and the South Node being in Leo. And so we have the Page of Wands here. So even in our air energy, we still calling on y'all to take action and take initiative in the things. This is an indication that it's not totally happening. So it's not so much, okay, all right. So it's not so much about taking action or initiative, but it's just, taking initiative. I keep saying action. It's about taking action, but it's not about being the ringleader in the action. You don't have to be the ringleader. You don't have to be like, oh, everybody look at me. I'm leading, da 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 da. I'm doing da 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 da. Just be in your action. Just be in your embodiment. Just be you. Okay. It's giving Gemini energy, the Uranus and Gemini connections. Whereas like when we come into communities, we automatically want to assert ourselves and say, oh, I'm this person, I do this, and you start naming like all 89 different things that you do, that you bring to the table, and then you expect everyone to want you to be the one that brings all those things to the table. But that's what you do for yourself. You don't have to do that for the community. All you got to do is be yourself. You know what I'm saying? Anything else is putting on a play, it's putting on an act, because we both know that you don't want to do all 89 of those things for whatever community, circle, whatever you walk into. You just like spitting off all those accolades. Oh, I'm an herbalist, I'm this, I'm that, I do this, I do that, I do this, I do that. Okay, what the fuck? You want an applause? Like the ego needs to be stroked in this conversation. The community is not going to gravitate to that, I promise you. When you're around the community that you're actually supposed to be around, they don't give a fuck. Everybody does those things. Now just be, and just allow yourself to have these connections and have connections without it being you mouthing off of all the titles and all the things, because that is the opposition. That's that South Node in Leo. South Node Leo is like, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me. Here's all the reasons why you should look at me. You know what I'm saying? Whereas Pluto is up there with the North Node creating transformations and finding your unique place in society. But it's not about look at you when you find your unique place in society, but it's also letting you know that you're enough. You're good enough, you're great enough, you're amazing, and you still deserve the right to be unique and amazing and regal and all these things. But it doesn't come from you having to be that chariot, that ringleader of I do 89 different things and y'all just follow me. We're not doing the Jesus shit no more. We're not doing the follow the leader things anymore. And as you guys can see, like I was talking about earlier in this live, like a lot of those people that were sitting on these podiums and mouthing off constantly, a lot of them are going through spiritual psychosis and it's bleeding into their physical reality. People starting to see things that, you know, oh, now they're going back, I've been saw that it's about that person. Congratulations, you're going to be next. Because while this person is going through their spiritual psychosis and you don't realize it was because they had to be that chariot, they had to now you got to be that chariot making monologues and reels and videos, taking the time out to dissect that last person, not realizing you're doing the same exact thing by that. Oh, I'm a reader, I'm this, I'm that, I do this and I do that, and I know this years ago that person was doing that because I've been doing this and you're doing the same fucking thing. And so your psychosis is coming up next. When are y'all gonna learn? Just be. You're good enough. Just be. And you definitely don't gotta tear nobody down or dissect anybody's spiritual walk or dissect anybody's downfall or psychosis or anything for you to be and for you to be enough. You gotta be mindful of what you give your thoughts to. This is the swords. This is swords we talking about. Because in the midst of you dissecting someone's downfall, you are showing your true self as well. You're showing your true heart as well. You're also showing your Venus in Libra. What's your truth? How balanced are your scales? Is your heart as light as a feather? Especially in the face of someone going through the things they're going through. I seen a lot of stuff on my timeline. Y'all can't wait to kick somebody down. Y'all can't wait till somebody go through a spiritual psychosis so y'all can stand over them and be like, see, I told y'all not to follow him. Now follow me. Like, you next. You're next. Because y'all don't get it. Y'all not getting it. Stop doing that. That spirit gonna hop right from him right into your ass. Because look, here go another dark heart for me to jump into. I found another one, guys. Cut it out. The next card, like, what should we focus on? Jupiter and Capricorn. Being a humanitarian, being optimistic, being open, being joyous, even in the midst of those challenges, right? Capricorn deals with challenges that give us that discipline and order and also that sense of restriction. But if we in our Jupiter doing those things, if we still showing the lightness, a giving energy, still being philosophical, still bringing those connections, still being like jubilant and all those things like that, yeah, that's where it's at. We in our chokma, expansion, abundance. You know, there's no limit. The sky ain't even the limit. We limitless out here. Everything is infinite. We love it here. That's what we're going to focus on in our heirs. It's in our destiny. It's in our destiny to be limitless. It's in our destiny to be infinite. Here we really like express, like we talked about what Pluto over there in Aquarius providing transformations there. But I'm really feeling that Uranus providing progressive pushes over there in Gemini for y'all. Is limitless the places that y'all can be pushed to. And then, ooh, I pulled that rash boy card. That was that whole rant I just went on. I felt that whole rant I just went on. I ain't even going to repeat myself. Y'all could just rewind back in time. But yeah, go back to that rash boy, that chariot that the cards is telling y'all not to be. Y'all don't have to be that to be this, to be the Page of Wands. You know, you already got the power. You are the last dragon. All right, so now we got some funky shapes happening during the full moon. We talked about the kite that we have going on in this new moon that we're having now. We also have another triangle with Mars at the top being at 0 degrees Cancer, because Mars did enter Cancer yesterday. At the base of that triangle is this is a cardinal triangle, guys. So at the base of this cardinal triangle, where we're taking initiative at, is we have Venus over there giving us the truths in our heart, with it being in Libra in the 12th house. So a lot of those calluses in your heart. Thank you. It was a bar, wasn't it? Taking those calluses out your heart, closing those things, because we really want your heart to be light as a feather here. So bringing a lot of things to an ending, to a close. You'll find yourself mourning things you never gave yourself a chance to mourn. So in this moment, even like, don't suppress the things. Don't be like, oh, that was so long ago. Why am I just now thinking about it, and try to brush it off, try to rationalize, and don't do all that. Allow yourself to feel those things. Obviously, you didn't allow yourself to feel those things. What is the quote from the book? Your body keeps score. This is your spirit keeping score. These are your emotions keeping a score. A pebble creates a ripple that goes on infinitely. That ripple never stops. Okay? And eventually that ripple boomerangs back. You're gonna get it. You're gonna get it in one way or another. And it's okay. Time is not linear. You don't gotta walk up to somebody and send them a whole monologue, or tell them, hey, I didn't like when you hurt me back in 1993. That you don't gotta do all of that. You could just allow yourself to feel it and go through it. You feel me? On the other side of that triangle, we have Neptune is at the base in Aries. So we got the cardinal water with cardinal air and fire at the base. Okay. So that's one triangle. We also have another triangle with Neptune at the top. And at the base, we have Uranus providing progressive pushes in our community, and Pluto providing those transformations in our comfort zone in response to our dreams, which makes sense too. When we put our dreams into that sixth house, the inspiration, the Akashic records, start getting back into your spirituality, whatever ritualistic things you guys used to do and stuff like that, you will see, your community change. Some of y'all, I won't say y'all was masking, but y'all stopped doing certain things y'all used to do. And so that started opening up relationships and communities, and spending time in spaces where you wouldn't be if you was doing your rituals instead, if you was doing certain things instead. So when you start opening that back up again, those people are going to go away, and it's going to open up new things. So those are the triangles that we have happening in this moon today. But since we started the first triangle over there in water, let's just move on to water. I dropped 2 cards, and since we here, we got Yarrow for Venus. That Venus in Libra, and look, got the Libra scales balance, y'all. Harmony is key for 1 and 5 for that solar plexus chakra knowledge. Knowledge, power. And then we have Journey, knowledge and equality. And that's Mercury in Uranus. Progressive pushes in our thoughts with the journey. So, whoo, all in alignment. We love it here. All right, so let's talk about the water. We got Mars over there in Cancer. Mars get debilitated in Cancer, y'all. Because Cancer likes to go inward and nurture and be all intuitive and internal and introverted and stuff like that. But Mars like to go outward and take initiative and take action and just be like, But we're starting this energy off in the 9th house. So knowing that your solar plexus chakra has always been good enough, you don't have to overperform, you don't have to overdo, overgive, over. We just want you to feel and nurture that gut. That's what we want you to do. Feel and nurture that gut. Okay. Now, our other our other water space that we have, we're in immutables. We have the South Node. The South Node is actually currently in Pisces today. Y'all know the North and South Node be going back and forth between prograde and retrograde like every week or whatever. So we're going to constantly be teeter-tottering between Pisces and Pisces and Aquarius for a little while. But right now, on today, the North Node was in Pisces, moving towards the spirituality, that pretty much opened up the gate for whatever you speak into existence, during this solar eclipse energy that we're in for today, we're in, waning new moon. Tomorrow we'll be in waxing new moons. So, we'll be in these phases for like 2 days. But we're in the eclipse energy for like the next 2 to 3 weeks, y'all. So bask in it, enjoy it. We're here, okay? But yeah, so that spiritual direction, that opening, the cards are just gonna keep falling. Oh, okay. I like this card. I dropped the joy card. We're basking, we're enjoying. We got Venus and Pluto here. But this is in the 5th house, y'all. So we tapping into our inner child. Once again, I'm telling y'all, y'all gonna be time traveling. Y'all gonna be crying about some shit you thought you was over a long time ago, but you're not over it. We also have Scorpio. Scorpio's in the first house today. There's no major celestial bodies here, but we are in the space of, transformations is in our auric field. So we are speaking transformations in our space. We are speaking revelations in our space. All right. So Cancer energy, while we got Mars and Cancer in the 9th house, bring that expansion and abundance and joy and all those things, and nurturing our celestial womb, our solar plexus chakra to our womb. Once we get to the full moon energy, Mars will be in Cancer in the 2nd house. So now we're moving towards our business pursuits, what we value, what we prioritize, our connections with other people, and all those things. And it all starts in this moment of being optimistic. I'm telling you, the world is yours. Stop restricting yourself. Stop saying, hey, I can't do this yet, and I can't do that yet, and this can't happen yet, and da 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 da. What the fuck do you want? Put all that stuff to the side about what you think you can't or cannot have yet. What do you want? What would you be like? You know how like they be asking you those questions like, oh, if you didn't have to have a job, if you didn't have to da-da-da, what would you be doing? What would you be doing? That's what you want. So just say it. Say, this is what I want. This is what I want. You can have it now. Why you can make an excuse why you can't have it now? I can't have it now because I gotta have a job. Your job could be that. That could be your job. That could be how you sustain yourself and you don't even know because you're not even allowing yourself to do it. Boo, get out of here with that bullshit. That's what Mars and this house wants you to realize. Like, y'all keep saying, oh, I can't have love yet. I can't have connections yet. Oh, I can't forgive yet. I can't have these things yet. Oh, I can't have that job yet. Oh, I can't have this yet. I can't. And if it's something that you value and you prioritize and it's something that'll boost you in a way, like if it's for the greater you and the greater good, why the fuck you can't have that? That sounds like it's in the pathway of the universe. That sounds like it's already in your auric body. You just gotta stop pushing it away from your physical. You're repelling what you could be attracting right now because you under the wrong understanding. Go back to your root chakra, fix it. We're gonna talk about the root chakra soon. We'll get to that earth, that slow ass earth energy real soon. Hold on, I got y'all. And so by the time we get to the next new moon energy, our Mars would have moved from the 9th house of wholeness and completion and wisdom to the 2nd house of business. To now we are back in the 2nd house of business. Probably would have had like a full situation happening there because the 1st house kind of moves a little funky there too. Yeah. So we are in the 2nd house by the next new moon as well. Lots of nurturing on that heart chakra of things, that ambition, that motivation that gets you going between the emotional facet of life and the physical facet of life. You're allowed to be materialistic. I'm a materialistic girl living in a materialistic world, okay? And that's the beauty of being here. Allow yourself to, we are multi-dimensional beings. We're spiritual, we're mental, we're emotional, we're psychological, we're philosophical, and we're physical, and we're metaphysical. And like we don't allow ourselves to see the magic in that so much. And I don't understand why. Those are so many dimensions that we get to experience. It's so many dimensions that we get to experience that we ain't even really put a word to yet, but we're experiencing them. Like, come on now. Why the physical experience always getting the boot? Like, why y'all always doing it? Like, every experience is good, but the one that I'm living in the most is like, you put all of them joints together. They all supposed to be holding hands and kumbaya and around your internal fires, including the physical. That doesn't make any sense. You're fighting to live in a reality that you keep demonizing, but you like, but you want to live. I want to live. I want to survive. Okay, so thrive. No, you want to live, you want to survive, but you want to suffer and struggle during the living and survive. That doesn't make sense to me. Like, that doesn't sound fun. Why are you doing that to yourself? Don't do that to yourself. Have fun. We're here to have fun. It's serious. It's like not serious business. We're here to have fun. If you're not having fun, you're not in alignment with self, because that means your sacral chakra is busted, and we need all the energy faculties to be moving and grooving and balanced. Not just the super serious warlike solar plexus chakra and root chakra. I'm so disciplined and I'm only motivated by my discipline. Like, come on now. We have other energy faculties that definitely deserve some attention. Don't do that. And we just want everybody's Mars to know that. Everybody's solar plexus chakra should know that. Your soul, we've always been selling our soul, our SOL, our solar plexus chakra. We keep selling our soul to things that are not bringing us joy, because our understanding, our root chakra, is not in alignment with our true self. And that's where I want y'all to be. I want y'all to get into y'all true self. I want y'all to be in y'all power. I want y'all to be in y'all joy. I want y'all to have y'all own understanding of self. Y'all don't even gotta have an understanding of me. Don't understand me. Understand yourself. Be in your own joy. Be empowered to do what you want to do. And hopefully this Mars in Cancer this year around, it feels different. You know, usually when Mars is in Cancer, you know, we'd be like, watch out for the water energy. They're so combative and snippier than usual today. And then like you start dealing with, definitely going to deal with like some type of stormage situation, condensation, things with, you know, the waters, you know, your moja starts doing the things. It's about to be hurricane season. You already know how that's going to flow. Like, it's so many different things, you know, and we made it negative, but I don't know, I just feel really good. I feel really hopeful, you know, about this Mars. I really feel like we're going to alchemize this in a different way as a collective, and just like really learn to nurture our soul instead of selling it all the time. You know, we're always selling it to the highest bidder, like, oh, this job pays more, so let me like suffer and do things that I don't really want to do, that don't bring me joy, so that I can sell my SOL to go over here and do this. And the physical reality is so much more than that. You know, it's so much bigger than that. You don't gotta do that. You don't gotta pimp yourself. And then so coming back, like this moon, we talked about the north node being in Pisces right now. It's at a, you know, 0 degree, and it's in the 5th house. So again, like I was saying, we're gonna go back, and we gotta go back to that inner child energy of what did you want, what was you trying to do, where were you trying to be. And then by the time we get to the next full moon, the sun will actually be, not the sun, excuse me, the moon will actually be in Pisces. So the full moon will be in Pisces. Of course, it will be in opposition of the sun, and the sun and Mercury during the next full moon, which will be the lunar eclipse, will be shit. What's the word? It's not eclipse. What's the other word when the, not conjunction, occultation? Is a occultation? Yeah, something like that. because Mercury and the Sun will both be at 4 degrees in Virgo, so they'll be on top of each. Basically, they'll be on top of each other in the fourth house in Virgo. But the Moon will be in Pisces in opposition next full moon. So now we have the Moon up there in Pisces, bringing nurturing energy. Will be in the 10th house with it, so being tapped into that third eye energy, your intuition, your emotions, your sensitivities, heavy on the sensitivities here, doing some type of water rituals, being near water, going to the water deities, whether you go to Yemoja for the moon or Olukun for Pisces. That'll definitely bring you to the 10 to success. 10 is also Capricorn energy, which deals with the root chakra. So here we'll be utilizing those waters to help smooth away the rigidity in your root chakra. So all that ranting I just did, hopefully y'all listened and applicated it. All right. And then by the next new moon, we'll flow into the MC line actually being in Pisces. So we really gonna be locked in, okay? And we love it here. Pisces wants to bring you to success, y'all, but do you want to bring yourself to success, or are you still playing on yourself? Then we have Scorpio. Like I said, we don't have Scorpio in the celestial body in Scorpio right now, but the first house is here. So it's in our auric body to build and destroy. You know, we're speaking into existence what's being built and destroyed, especially with Pluto being in opposition of Mercury right now. So, and Mercury is up there in Leo with the Sun, Moon, and Jupiter. So we are speaking, and the transformations are happening in response, and it's in our auric body to do so. So that means that it's not just us building and destroying. It also means that the universe, all the moon, stars, all that shit on the bigger chessboard that we can't even fathom. Peripherals are not that big. You know what I'm saying? The higher ups with the bigger peripherals is also moving people, places, things, situations, and stuff around in response to what we're speaking into existence. Like it's getting big, y'all. It's getting big, y'all. So, you know, when y'all get done listening to me rant, which I only got one more element to go, so I'm gonna I already told you. I said it in my head too, like I'm trying to be done by 11 o'clock, because let me be asleep by 12:30. I gotta get up in the morning. Because I lay down and I watch a nighttime movie with my son. We've been doing Disney films. Anyway, rewinds. You know, it's in our auric body to do the transformations. Anyway, moving into the full moon energy, we have the 6th house happening. Still no major celestial bodies. If you guys get into the what do you call it? If you guys get into asteroids, I don't know why I couldn't think of the word. Yeah, cause I'm about done. If you guys get into asteroids, I'm sure there's some asteroids over there in Scorpio that y'all could tap into. But Scorpio moves from the 1st house of our auric body to the 6th house. Now transformations are happening in our daily routine, our health, and our wellness. You know what we're learning about, and it's all empowering revelations happening there. So the responses, the body, the energy is moving. Okay, you're gonna feel it, and you're gonna feel it if you really are an analytical person. You're gonna feel it. You're gonna see it in your routine of things. And then by the time we get to the next new moon, we have we don't have any celestial bodies there, but Venus does enter Scorpio zodiac on September. Oh, on that day of the next new moon, Venus will be entering Scorpius energy. So it'll be at like a 0 degree on that day. We also have Mercury making a transit on that day as well. Mercury will be entering the Libra zodiac on the 10th. And then I believe we have somebody going in retrograde on that day as well. Uranus goes retrograde. So the next new moon is going to be kind of like, I don't know, Cardi B, hectic started playing in my head. Hectic. But yeah, it's finna get dramatic. Transformations of the heart, sensual energy. It's cuffing season with Scorpius being wrapped around that Venusian energy, going towards the 5th house, you know. So for those of you guys that grew up on Disney movies like myself, just waiting on that knight in shining armor. Yes, we love the asteroids. We love it here. You know, that energy is happening. So I see Scorpio, you know, really making some like external transformations, and it ending and slash beginning with Venus being over there in the fifth house. Just it really is like going to lead all the way up into like your heart, what you value, what you prioritize. I'm telling y'all, today's energy on manifesting on a Wednesday is very, very potent. Now I know for some of y'all it's like, girl, it's 11:54. Well, I'm on CST. It's 10:54 over here. I still got an hour to do my thug this. And even then, so we still in the motherfucking house. We still in the new moon energy. It's still, we just in wax and new moon. Don't worry about it, sweetheart. So that's where we at with it. But my water babies, I like the energy for y'all. I think for the water placements here, it's just really for y'all the transformations for water placements, the transformations is bigger than the physical. Which usually they are for water spaces. Usually I be giving them kind of readings to air though, because air is like really hard to pin down. But it's definitely giving air to the water right now. Like that the transformations, the responses to what we do in the physical is really going out into the cosmos, like time changing type shit happening because of what it is that you said you wanted. The card I got for y'all is psilocybin. Okay, we getting trippy over here. We have Pluto and the Sun, transformations to our experiences, like I said. And then as you can see, the connections, the communications, all the things coming together. We're going to commune. We got a Knight of Pentacles. That was coming back to my rant when I was telling y'all, like, we live in so many dimensions, but it's just like I don't understand what the beef is with the physical dimension. That is about all of the dimensions. I just wrote down times changing. Time is definitely changing. We changing timelines with this one. Listen, we are in a physical experience. It's okay to embrace the physical experience. This is one of the dimensions that we are in, and we get to like touch stuff. I get to touch things and push things out of my body, and I get to eat things and it tastes good. Oh my god, it tastes so good. Like we get to do things here, and we, by us not really like embracing and not having a good time here and shit like that, like you're fucking up the vibes, bro. Like literally and figuratively, you are fucking up the vibes. So we gonna fix that, okay? Fix that. Seven of Wands. So what's this? Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, Seven of Wands. So being in our truth, being balanced. See my mans. I'm doing the things. I could do anything. Fuck these alligators. You know what I'm saying? I do the things. I'm the God here. This is what I want. This is what I'm speaking. Transformations are above me, and I trust. Not just in spiritual land, not just in my third eye, not just when I'm sleep astral projecting, not when I'm talking about my past life and my future life, but right here, right now, in my physical body with this heavy ass mass, dealing with the gravity and the magnetic force with the center of Earth and the center of the moon and all the other fucking shit in the world. I'm here, and this is great. All of this is great. This is not demonic. This is not lower self. This ain't nasty, dirty, murky waters, dirty flesh. This ain't none of that. This is great. You feel me? What parts of self to focus on? We're gonna focus on this. This is Earth on Earth. I'm not gonna repeat myself, okay? This is Earth on Earth. I just said it. We're in our Malkuth with it. We are grounded with it. And we're going to be the princess of coins. This is what we're focusing on here. We're also focusing on that. This is exactly why y'all don't appreciate y'all physical life. It's because y'all have perfection in that root chakra. And what the fuck is perfection? It was something that was fed to you through your education system, television, your parents, religion, and it's hoopla. It's hoopla. It's somebody else's hoopla. I was reading the pattern app, and y'all see I be screenshotting my pattern app Jones because I figured, this got to be somebody else's message too, whatever. And I also just like to do it. I don't know. But I am a recovering perfectionist because I don't even do the perfectionist shit no more. But like they were like, it's a difference between perfectionism and excellence. Excellence is when you're really trying and when you're really pursuing and when you're really doing your best. Perfectionism is when you have this grandiose idea of how things are going, and you put it to this um you put it to this goal to reach that you'll never reach, and you use that as an excuse to like beat yourself down and just say like on some lion and the sour grapes type shit, like, oh, this shit is bullshit anyway, or that's not cool, or oh, this is demonic, or that's fleshy shit, or I shouldn't want that, or da 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 da. And it's not just perfection. It's when y'all start saying imperfect. I'm imperfect. I'm imperfect. You're doing the same thing. You're doing the same thing. You're just doing it like you like to abuse yourself, but utilizing the imperfect word does the same exact thing. Now you're punishing yourself to this grandiose level of punishment. And it's like, for what? Stop it. Stop it. You are excellent. You're doing it. You're here. You're amazing. You have so many accolades and achievements. If you just sit down and just think, you know what? It just dawned on me that I have been substitute teaching over the span of 10 years in 3 different states. Like, I thought about that yesterday in a conversation. Someone had asked me, and I was like, damn, I never thought about that. And they're like, damn, 10 years? And I'm like, dang, that's crazy. I remember one of my teachers used to tell me, like, I've been teaching for 15 years. I'd be like, you old bitch. Now it's me. But it's just like, yo, that's crazy. Like, and then, you know, just talking about like the other things that, like, it was just like a giving back conversation. And I'm talking about how long I've been doing certain things. I've been reading, you know, tarot for about 13 years now. It's on this type of level. You know, I've been reading tarot longer than that, but it was just like, you know, me doing it for myself and da-da-da. But same thing with astrology, like, and then the planetary forecast. I've been doing this since Miles was like 2. So it's been like 10 years now I've been doing my planetary forecast, y'all. I've been doing the daily astrological reports for like the past like 4 years. And so it's just like, dang, like I'm like talking about like my years and the levels I've been going, and it's like I never sit and just like pat your girl on the back real quick. And that all came from me start bringing up like, well, go back to 2017. That was the last year one we had. What was going on? We had the same fucking president, believe it or not. Believe it or not, we had the same fucking president. But I started thinking about like, well, who was I in 2017? What was I going through? Da-da-da. I literally was manifesting everything that I'm doing. Thank you, Adonis. I appreciate you. I love it here. I'm literally living my dreams. This is what I used to cry out my window for. You know what I'm saying? And I'm doing it. And, you know, you just get so caught up in doing it. And again, having that mindset of perfectionism that I had to heal, it just never felt like I was doing it yet. I'm not doing it yet. There's no money in this. I'm not doing it yet. It's not enough followers. I'm not doing it yet because I don't even give a fuck about the social media stuff. I always wanted to be in a classroom with people physically in front of me and doing like talks and classes. Like, I'm still trying to wrap my mind around the social media thing. I really like in person. I want to teach a class. I want to be the astro psychologist professor. Like, that's what I want. Like how KRS want to be in these schools and doing it. That's what I want for me. And so in my mind, I just keep saying, I didn't do it yet. I didn't do this yet. I didn't. But it's like really sitting there. It's like, bro, I made like thousands of pieces of jewelry that are just out there. Like, thousands of people, because we're not even just talking about jewelry orders, we're talking about my fucking swag bags. I've made 1,000 pieces in swag bags in a year. So I have thousands with an S. And I've sold things to countries in Africa. I've sold things to countries in Europe. I've, you know, done trade in Jamaica. Like, I've done orders in Canada. Like, I'm outside, you know what I'm saying? And these are all things that I used to dream about in 2017. In 1999, I definitely was dreaming that shit. I wanted to be on stage making music. I was in all the after school programs for arts. I was making up my own songs, writing my own little books, winning poetry contests. Like 1999, like, I'm literally like doing this shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, When you think about it, I was still in high school back in 20s. Baby, you was still in high school. I had both of my kids. I had both of my babies. Oh, high school was good. That was a good time. But I think about all of the things. You make me feel old sometimes, brother. But we gotta get that perfection thought out of our mind because it is in the way. Please give yourself your motherfucking flowers. And so that'll bring us a sense. Well, right now we in this space of unfairness, not being fair to yourself. You're not keeping your heart light as a feather, and I think it's a lot because you over here doing this. You know what I think of when I see stuff like this or the perfection, John? I be thinking about the Da Vinci Code when the guy he was weird. He used to beat himself with the little thingy, but they had a spoof of it. Well, who did the spoof? When the guy was doing it, he was like, whip it good. I think it was a scary movie. I think it was one of the scary movies. He did a spoof, and I always think about that because that's my way of saying how silly that self hate is, of calling yourself imperfect, of saying, oh, I'm not good enough, and being on your knees and going to the altar, or of someone who didn't even survive, didn't even make it to see their pinnacle of fucking success, but you got them at your altar and you're on your knees. Meanwhile, you are at your pinnacle of success of things that you dreamed of and thought of for yourself, and you're not giving yourself your own flowers. I just think shit like that is weird. I'm glad I got to that mindset. But yeah, that's not fair to you. That's not fair to you. So, last but certainly not least, before I let y'all go, of course, we're going to do my earth babies. Okay? My earth signs, wherever earth is in our chart. I love you too, Adonis. We start off in, let's do Capricorn. Where are we at, Capricorn? Capricorn is the root chakra. And we have the root chakra starting off in the third house. Now, we don't have any major celestial bodies over there, but we do have third house. So we're dealing with challenges and structure in our communities, which we see. I don't think that's like y'all go outside, y'all see the hardships happening, how they treat homeless people with less than, da-da-da. And a lot of that is because of our understanding, what we're choosing to stand under, right? As a people, we keep choosing to stand under certain concepts, certain mindsets, certain economic systems and things like that. I've been reading this book. I know, I be making jokes like niggas don't read. I always think of that Kanye West song. You know that niggas can't read, but I love to read. I always been a dork. I don't shy away from that. I love science, but this origin story, this is something that I've been reading on my stream, off and on for the last couple weeks, because I'm going through transformations and transitions in my work schedule, so I'll be a little bit everywhere. But anyway. We have gotten to the chapters where it talks about the beginning of civilization in the agrarian period, and how humans, all in all, like a lot of the things that we're going through in society today have been going on for about 5,000 years. Okay, like the feudalism, and it's crazy because the mindset of the government now is retarded. I don't even want to disrespect people that identify with the R word, but it's just crazy because even back then, 5,000 years ago, they knew that they had to treat their laborers a certain kind of way with a certain level of respect and consideration, and taking care of them, especially financially, because they knew that that is the bottom, the base of our pyramid. And if we don't have the base to our pyramid ain't really worth the thing. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, to be 2026, 5,000 years later, and see like, okay, oh yeah, TikTok said, you over there having hate speech? Whatever. Y'all be so extra over here. I say what I want to say. But, to see 5,000 years later, that mindset not be carried out, but still carrying on some of the feudalism laws and caste systems and things like that, is very, what's going on? Where is the mental, thing with people? But all that to say, a lot of the things that our community is going through is because of where our understanding is, what we're choosing to have as our structure, as our infrastructure, as our sense of authority, and we can change the game. It's just up to us. And that's why by the time we get to the full moon, Capricorn is in the eighth house. Yeah. Capricorn is in the eighth house by the time we get to the full moon. So that's fun. And then Lilith will be in Capricorn. I talk about that. I keep talking about that. I don't know why I'm hyped about Lilith being Capricorn, but Lilith will be Capricorn zodiac on September 14th. And then by the time we get to the next new moon, Capricorn will be in the seventh house. So it'll be about being in our truth. So we'll have like a split line between the seventh house and the eighth house being in Capricorn by the next new moon. All right. So our sense of understanding at this point, seeing it in our community, our communications, the opportunities that are coming to us, and also seeing how it affects like our sense of duality too. How we express our different facets of self. And I talked about that earlier, like what we're standing under, what we choose to rule over us, and why. May those experience truthful transformations for us. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all deserve better than the stuff y'all choosing to stand under. And then we get to mutable earth, my favorite, Virgo energy. We start this new moon energy with the north node here. And so, not the north node, the south node here. So this is our comfort zone where we're coming from. This is our Ketu. And we have the 11th house here. So the 11th house deals with friendships, society, being connected to society. And right now, Virgo, how are we of service? How are we servicing society? And, some of us are in our comfort zone with how we've been servicing, how we've been giving back our different routines and habits and healthcare and all that stuff in society and stuff. And so when we move on to the next the lunar eclipse, we'll have the sun over there in Virgo, of course, being in opposition of the moon. And we'll have Mercury there because, the sun and Mercury will be on top of each other at a 4-degree in Virgo, the next lunar eclipse. And so this brings experiences, speaking our experiences into existence here, into our 4th house, intuition, emotions, and our 3rd eye, our nurturing space, our comfort zones, home and family. How are we servicing our home and family? How are we servicing and comforting ourselves? How are we experiencing that? Here we get into a sense of equality too. Not just about servicing others, but how are we being serviced back? Are we falling or flowing into that martyrdom thing? Are we overgiving when it comes to our home and family? Are we I gotta be the big mama, the big matriarch energy and stuff like that? May we, be open to nurturing ourselves on a regular basis and doing things for ourselves because that's what we deserve. Then by the next new moon, we'll have the sun being right on the IC line, which is our sense of belonging. So having that experience of belonging sitting in Virgo, and then the moon will be in Virgo and Mercury will be in Virgo as well. So we have our 3rd eye and our throat chakra will be in Virgo, giving us that line between 3, which is community opportunities, communication, which is where the moon will be, and then 4 is our home and family. And so those different connections between like outside of my house and inside of my house. And how am I experiencing them? How am I nurturing them? How am I communicating to them? How am I applicating them on my daily routine and things? How am I servicing them? And how are they servicing me? Not just on the intellectual, but also on the health level and stuff like that too. And that's what we're harvesting the next new moon energy. And then we get into Taurus. How could I forget my fixed babies? We start off Taurus in the 7th house, so being true. We don't have any major, no, we do. Chiron didn't go back yet, my bad. Chiron is here, and Chiron is how we transmute our wounds into strengths. And so we have had to transmute our wounds into strengths because Taurus deals with, facets of love. So I'm sure, if you've lived a little, you've had some people in your life that you've loved and lost, or had some discrepancies with, or went through some things with, and you're trying to get through those things, as well as like materialistic losses. Some of us are not where we thought we would be in life. Some of us didn't get a chance to have certain things in life, so we live our lives like, oh, I didn't have these things, so my kids have to have these things, or, now I have to have these things now, or, or I got to date somebody who has these things because I don't have these things. Like, all of that is dealing with Chiron and Taurus, okay? Transmuting those wounds and what we have and how we feel and how we allow those things to affect our self-esteem and how we deal with ourselves. Also, Taurus energy also deals with a sense of integrity too, because there's a certain levels of integrity that we have to have and uphold when we're dealing with, matters of the heart, how we obtain and maintain these material and emotional things. And we just want to be true in our heart here and transmute those truths. And then, when we get to the next full moon, Chiron is still here, but now we're in the 12th house with Taurus. So we're bringing things to an end. We're bringing some things to a close. No longer have space for in that Taurus energy in our hearts, all right? Some of the moons, we're not going to have space for them no more. We're not going to have patience with ourselves to even hold them anymore. Like, I just don't have the capacity to hold these things. And so by the next new moon, we'll have the 11th house in Taurus with Chiron still sitting there at a 0 degree. And now we're getting into friendships and connections and being a part of society with transmuting these wounds, which is pretty cool. So for my earth babies, it just seemed like a lot of learning to embrace the physical experience without all that understanding. Because once we cleanse out a lot of that understanding we've been under when it comes to the physical experience, we'll be good. Because our emotionals have never been fully trained. We know how to suppress them and play around with them and do the white voice and the code switching and all stuff like that. Like, we learn how to do all those things, but that's not true suppression, because when we go home and we take the wig off, what I'm saying, we still felt what we felt. I can code switch, but a person across the classroom can look at me and still know all the bullshit. Like, we still telepathically hear, what I'm saying? But we have been, very much trained on the physical level. And so it's like, if we could just like untrain our physical experience and allow it to be in alignment with all our other facets of self on this physical plane, we'll have a better time here. And I think, I feel, I believe, I know, and I do, that's what these earth placements is opening up for, opportunities to really like unlearn and wash off those belief systems and those understandings that we had, so we can have a better physical experience here and stop demonizing it so much, because I don't think that's what it is. So here we have the horsetail is patience. We're aligning that Saturn with Pluto, so providing transformations. Not Pluto, that's Venus. Saturn and Venus, both our earth energies as Capricorn and Taurus there. So the challenges and things that's coming to our matters of heart and having patience with those things. We have 3 and 5 there, which is understanding of power, which brings us transformations. We have the Queen of Pentacles. I was talking about earlier, our integrity with Taurus is very important. How we've been obtaining and maintaining these material things and these matters of the heart is very important here. And again, it's all about just washing away our sense of understanding, that 10, that Capricorn energy. It's really like some work that we have to do with our root chakra and a lot of things that we're rooted in. And I know when we get into the root chakra, a lot of us, we go straight to like our ancestors and da-da-da-da, and that's cool, but we also have to get to ourselves. Go back to that kindergarten class that was teaching you couldn't have boundaries on your space, on your belongings, on your mindset, on your emotions. Like, you weren't allowed to have your own boundaries. You had to do whatever the classroom was doing. You had to do whatever the school was doing. You had to do whatever your parents wanted you to do. My house, my rules. Whatever goes in my house stays in my house. And that closed up your throat chakra, or you weren't allowed to talk back. When talking, it wasn't even talking back. It was trying to have an energy exchange about how you felt about what was going on around you and to you. You know what I'm saying? People trespassing you and touching you and molesting you and doing all these things, and really closing up your chakra. So I'm not saying don't go back to your ancestors, don't go back to this person and that person, this deity and da da da. But I want you to, at some point in your life, learn how to prioritize you. A lot of people are prioritizing their ancestors and their bloodline and their grandparents and their race and historically what we went through and my community and it's too many things you're prioritizing over yourself, and this is supposed to be your experience. Now if everybody moved that way collectively, it would automatically be an enough experience. And here with the earth signs is learning that you're good enough. Go back to that Virgo energy when I said, like, some of y'all are addicted to being martyrs. It's just like, I don't need to think about myself. I need to think about these ancestors. I need to think about these Orishas. I need to think about these deities. I need to think about these saints and these Loas. And I need to think about these communities and these off-grid communities and these community gardens. And I need to think about politics. But it's like, what about you? Because this is your story. This is not the politics story. This is not anybody else's story but yours. This ain't nobody else's experience but yours. You're the one that's in here and here. And I promise you, if you just embody and just do the things that you want to do, how you want to do it to your flow, people are watching. Don't ever think niggas is not watching, especially because we live in a 1 and 0 type of realm. It's always somebody watching. And people are being inspired just off of you just doing whatever you want to do and you being in your power. You gotta know that. You gotta know you enough. If you don't know it by now, like, again, like I said, sit down and write what you was doing in 2017. Sit down and write what you were doing in 1999, 1990, and go back further and further if you can, if you want to, or whatever, and just be like, damn, I'm really doing all the shit that I was dreaming. I'm really doing this. I'm doing, because you are. Because you are. Look at how much stuff you changed. Some of y'all was eating McDonald's 3 times a day. Some of y'all was drinking. Some of y'all was smoking cigarettes. Some of y'all was biting y'all fingernails. Some of y'all was bleaching y'all eyebrows and eyelashes, burning your eyeballs out. Like, some of y'all was doing crazy stuff that y'all are not doing no more. And you got to give yourself your flowers and keep going, What parts of stuff to focus on? We're going to focus on our Queen of Wands. This is our Bina, again, bringing us back to our understanding, our root chakra. I really, really want y'all to focus on that. Mysticism. The opposite of Capricorn is Cancer. So the opposite of the root chakra is your intuition, is your third eye. They're not here to go against each other or be a versus. They're here to complement each other. So let them do that. And then we have an incomplete here on the 2. We know 2 is Taurus energy in our heart chakra. And it's a sense of incompletion because I'm going to let you know, like, it's because of what you've been desensitized into thinking that a root chakra is supposed to look like, that a physical experience is supposed to look like. And we've been duped. Y'all know we've been duped. If you grew up in the public school education system like I did, when we were younger, they gave us this whole spiel about the process of adulthood and how things were supposed to look, and if we did this and did that and did this and did that, this is the kind of lifestyle we could live. And we just really, thought. And so we did the things, and look at what's happening. And it just goes to show you, like, just do what you want to do. Like, I was duped out of pursuing the arts as a major thing because I was always told that was irresponsible. That's not where the money is. That's not professional. That's not this. That's not that. But then I go into these other professions and I realize, well, the money ain't over here neither. So where's the money? Where's the money at, guys? I did the things. So now I'm just going to do what I want to do because the money ain't over there. It ain't over here. Like, I'm just going to do what I want to do. And God is making a way for me. And God does. And the universe does. And I do make a way for me every time, every way, And so that's what I got from my Earth babies. And so I'm going to let y'all go with some honorable mentions on the transits. So we know that August 23rd... I gotta take my dog outside and do my things. He got a little routine thing going on. He about to get upset with me because he's starting to get itchy. August 23rd, the sun enters Virgo zodiac. August 17th, the sun enters Leo constellation. All right. Mercury enters Leo zodiac. That happened on August the 10th. August 25th, Virgo zodiac. September 10th is Libra zodiac. August the 5th, Mercury entered Cancer constellation. August 23rd, Mercury will be entering Leo constellation, and then September 7th, Virgo constellation. All right. Venus enters Libra zodiac. That happened on the 6th of August. Then September, well, the 1st of August, Venus entered Virgo constellation. Then September 3rd, Venus enters Libra constellation. And then September 10th, Venus enters Scorpio zodiac. So we have a period of time where Venus will be, lined up in that Libra zodiac and constellation. That sounds like a real nice time to boo love. What was that, September 3rd to the 10th? We got Virgo and Libra zodiac and constellation. Sounds like a good time there. August 12th, Mars enters Cancer zodiac. August 2nd is when Mars entered Gemini constellation. September 10th, Uranus goes retrograde. So that's adding to our retrograde season that we have all the way up until February 2027. September 14th, Lilith enters Capricorn zodiac. August 12th, Ceres enters Cancer zodiac, which is going to be a very nice time to really nurture your emotions there. We love it there. Give a mother some flowers. That was yesterday. Okay. Let me get my dates together. August 15th, Pallas goes into retrograde. Pallas deals with our genius, like qualities that we overlook. And right now it's in Aries energy. So new beginnings in those spaces for y'all. August 11th, Juno entered Capricorn zodiac. And Juno is in retrograde, to remind y'all, so it went backwards into Capricorn zodiac. August 27th, Vesta retrograde begins in Aries. So Vesta deals with our Vestral fire, our passion. August 14th, Eros enters Scorpio zodiac. On August 5th is when it entered Libra constellation. So right now it's in Libra constellation in zodiac. So you guys might be feeling the love buzz. And then August 27th, Sappho enters Virgo zodiac. On the 14th, it enters Leo constellation. So from the 14th to the 27th, we got Sappho and Leo. We serenading the hoes with our creativity and our thespian energy. Be careful for the phonies in the back that might be trying to woo y'all. Don't let them. September 4th, Saturn retrograde and Gemini begins. And then August 16th, Chariklo enters Capricorn constellation. So that's what I got for y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed this planetary forecast. I'ma let y'all go. I have kept y'all long enough. If you are new on TikTok, this is being recorded on YouTube. You can always rewind back to the beginning. I go through all 4 elements in my reading and the shapes. Like I said, we have a pentagon happening next new moon. The top of the pentagon is going to be Neptune in the 10th house in Aries. So it's all about our spiritual self, our inspiration, our subconscious, our dreams, anything hidden beneath the horizon, and really bringing that to success with that fiery energy, that motivation. On the sides, we have Pluto creating transformations in society to assist us in the 8th house. We have Uranus providing those progressive pushes in our community and bringing some things to a close on the 12th house. At the bottom of the pentagon, we have the moon bringing that nurturing energy and insight with Virgo, over analyzing. So we got the thought and the emotions there in the 3rd house with our community. And then at the other bottom, we have Venus giving us that 29 degree, that degree of mastery, and Libra bringing us the balance, justice, and truth in that 5th house with our inner child. So that's a really cool pentagon situation. It's also a kite. Instead of having those 2 bases, we're going to bring it down in the middle to Mercury being over there in Virgo in the 4th house, focusing on the daily routine, our health and our wellness, and nurturing those things. and finding safe spaces to nurture those things. So those are the planetary lineups, those are the aspects and the shapes we got going on, and it's a fun time. And I hope y'all enjoy being here because I enjoyed y'all. But I'm gonna let y'all go now. I love y'all so much. Reach out if you would like a personal reading, whether it be mathematics, astronomy, astrology. Y'all know I'm here. I do have an astro psychology course happening in the fall if you guys are interested. And I have a Forex class happening later on this month, which is random as fuck, but y'all know I want to help y'all, and I'm here for it. But peace, y'all. Make sure y'all share my shit. Tell a friend to tell a friend that I exist.